Hello mathematicians. So in this video we're going to look at how to solve Surds equations. So with Surds equations, if you are given a problem like this, what you want to do first is you want to isolate this guy here. Isolate your set such that it is the subject of the formula. Okay, now what we are talking about is that we are going to say subtract this 2x from both sides. Subtracting the 2x from both sides, we say 2x minus 2x plus the square root of x plus 1 equals to 1 minus 2x. Or you can simply just say you are taking this to the other side. Since the sign was positive, it will become negative. It will become a negative on the other side. It will receive a negative sign on the other side. You can do that as well. It's fine. It's still fine. Now, after doing this, we get this here clearing that 2x. That will be 0. Now we are satisfied with the progress because what we want is the square root of x plus 1 alone. That will be equal to 1 minus 2x here. Because this one here, it just tend to be 0. Okay? Now, when you are at this step now, what you must do is you must square both sides. You want to remove this square root here. Now, if you want to remove that square root, what you do is you want to square both sides. After squaring both sides, you get x plus 1. That will give you 1 squared. 1 squared will give you 1. And then you have this 1 times minus 2x, that is just minus 2x, and so it will be minus 2x minus 2x minus 2x. That will just be minus 4. Okay, minus 4x. It will be 1 minus 4x, and then you get minus 2x all squared minus 2x all squared. Your answer is going to be positive 4x squared. Okay, when you're at this step, you can just take these guys to the other side. Okay, let's take those guys to the other side and leave a 0 here, or just say we're going to subtract x plus 1. Subtract the term x plus 1 from both sides. On the other side, you will get 4x squared minus 4x minus x plus 1 minus 1. That will give you 0. When you are at this step, you just have to simplify further. Collect like terms. These are like terms and these are like terms. Now we say 4x squared minus 5x plus 0 equals to 0. So I'm not going to write plus 0. And now at this step, you can clearly see it's a quadratic, a binomial. It has common factor of x. Take that common factor of x out so that you have 4x minus 5 equals to 0. For this to be true, we know that it's either x equals to 0 or 4x minus 5 equals to 0. If you are struggling with factorization, please click on this video here to view more about factorization and learn more about factorization. Okay, now from this one here, we say we're going to write 4x equals to positive 5. Take this negative 5 to the other side so that you have x equals to 5 over 4. When you divide both sides by 4, dividing both sides by 4, you get 4 cancelling this 4, and then 5 over 4 as the other option. But now we must test this if this is true. Okay, let's test it if it's true. If x is 0, we plug 0 here for testing purposes. These ones you must test them. The ones with the sets, you must test them. Please don't forget to test them so that you can identify which one is the solution between this one and this one. Okay, now let's test it. If we put 0 there, we turn x into 0 and x into 0 there. We get 2 times 0, that is 0. Here it's just the square root of 1. Square root of 1 is 1. So the answer here is just 0 plus 1, that is just 1. So that 1 is equal to 1 on the right hand side. So that means this one here, this guy here is a solution. Okay, and now let's test 5 over 4. With 5 over 4, let's try to write it down. We're going to say 2 into 5 over 4 plus the square root of 5 over 4 plus 1. Let's test what are we going to get there. Here you get 2 goes once, goes twice, that is 5 over 2 for you, and then you get 5 over 2 plus, here you get the square root. The square root is supposed to be covering everything there. The square root of 5 plus 4 over 4. 5 plus 4 is just 9. Square root of 9 is 3. So you get 5 over 2 plus 3 over 2. 5 plus 3 is 8. 5 plus 3 is 8. Let me just make a space there. 5 plus 3 is 8. And so you get you get what? You get 8. Get 5 plus 3 over 2. You get 8 over 2. And that will give you 4. And 4 from the left hand side is not equal to the 1. This one here, for this one is not equal to 1 that is equal to the right hand side. So this one here, this guy is misleading us. This one is misleading us because it's not true. Okay, this one is not true. Or you can just, well, if you're in your maths exam, you are allowed to take your calculator, which is in most cases allowed. The examiners allow people to use calculators in most cases. You can just take this one, plug it everywhere you see x. Just plug 0, you will get 1. Or take this one, plug it everywhere where you see x. Just open the brackets for it and put this value there, so that you get that 4. And that means 4. There's no way 4 will be equal to 1. That is why we are rejecting this solution. This one here is not a solution. We just say no solution. Okay, we reject this solution because of this proof, because of that proof there, because of this proof right here. Okay, number 2 says 5 minus the square root of 4x plus 1, that will give you x. Okay, let's find the values of x that will make this statement here true. Okay, what you do first is to isolate again our guy here. We want to isolate this guy, so we can just leave it this side and say we're going to write minus square root of 4x plus 1. That will give you x minus 5. Why minus 5? It was plus 5 on the other side of the equation, and when we take it to that side of the equation, it will change the sign from a plus to a minus. Okay, after isolating like this, what's our next step? We must first remember, you isolate and then you square, you solve, and then you test. You test the solution. So it's ISST. So you isolate and then you square both sides, and then you solve for x, and then you test. Okay, remember of those 4 steps. Now when you're at this point, remember we square both sides, so that we have this radical sign removed. Let's remove it. -1, here we have -1. Okay, -1 squared is just +1. The square root squared, this whole thing here squared, this radical sign, when it's removed, the resulting answer is 4x plus 1. That will be equal to x squared minus 5x minus 5x. That will be minus 10x. Okay, now minus 5 all squared. Remember this one here, when we simplify it like this. We open 2 brackets for the square, and we say x minus 5 containing the same thing that is here. Okay, now this one here will give you x squared, and get minus 5x will give you this 10x. Okay, and now after getting the 10x, we have our positive 25. That's how we simplify it. Okay, now proceed to solve the resulting equation, this one. What we are doing on the following step is that we are going to take these guys on the other side, and we don't forget to change their signs. So it means what's on this side, I'm not going to change the signs. I'm only going to change these signs. I'm going to rewrite, but only change the signs from the left side. Okay, now we say we're going to have x squared minus 10x plus 25. Write it the same as that guy, and then followed by minus 4x. It was plus 4x, I write minus 4x. It was plus 1, I write minus 1, and I equate to 0. That's me taking these guys to the other side. I hope it's clear. Okay, now we have x squared minus 10x. I collect the like terms now. Those that have x to the power of 1, that this guy and this guy, they're going to give us minus 14x. 25, positive 25 minus 1, that will give you plus 24. That will be equal to 0. Okay, now from this resulting equation, solve for x. Again, we are looking for the factors of it. Here we have coefficient of 1. You must be careful. The coefficient here must be 1. If the coefficient is not 1, there are 2 ways. The first way is you can use the equation, even with this one, because it's a quadratic equation. You can use quadratic equation, general quadratic equation that I will write for you in the coming moment, to solve every quadratic equation. Even if the answer is going to give you decimals, with decimals you cannot just do it manually like this. You need that formula to get those decimals if the solutions are decimals. Now what I'm talking about, the quadratic equation is given by x equals to minus b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. I will show you how we get this solution. Please check on this video up here. Please check on that video on how do we get here. How did we get here? How did we get this as a general solution of quadratic equation? Please refer to that video up there. Okay, now we proceed to say we opened 2 brackets for this one. We open 2 brackets, equate to 0, and then we say we're going to have x and x to get x squared, multiply x and x to get that x squared, and then 24. We are looking for the factors of this guy. When you add them, you get 14. Okay, factors of this guy, when you add them, you get 14. Let's list all the factors of 24 down so that we can proceed from there. 24 is 24 times 1 is 12 times 2, and then it's 8 times 3. This will also give you 24. It's 6 times 4. This will also give you 24. And these are all the factors of 24. But which ones do we want to use? Which group do we want to use? We want to use the group that when we add it, we get negative 14. Not true? This one, when you add them, you get 14. This one you get 25. This one you get 11. Not 11. Yeah, 11. Yes. And then this one you get 10. We want this group. When you add them, they must give you 14. Let's proceed and say those factors are 12 and 2. 12 times 2 will give you 24. Now the signs are, because of this positive sign, they are the same. The signs are the same again, but the signs are both negative. Please check on this video if you want to learn more about factorization, on how to factorize quadratic equations. Now, to solve quadratic equations, and this one you can click on it to check the quadratic expressions. How do you factorize them? Okay, now let's proceed and say those signs are the same. The signs are both negative. Okay, now for this to be true, it's only when x minus 12 is 0, or when x minus 2 is 0. Because if I replace this guy with 0, this will be 0 and this will be true. Okay, and again, if I don't replace the first one, but I replace now the second one with 0, it will be 0 multiplied by this guy, whatever that will be, and then 0 multiplied by this guy, that will be again 0. That will also be true. So that's why we are saying for this statement to be true, we need to either this one is 0 or that one there is 0. Okay, now we have x equals to 12 or x equal to 2. We just take 12 to the other side. We just take 12 to the other side. It changes the sign, and 2 as well to the other side. It will change the sign from, they will both change the signs from being negative to positive. Now these are the solutions that we get. But remember, we are solving sets now. You must go and test it if they will work. Okay, you must go and test if they will work. Now let's go and test them. When we test the x equals to 12, when we test the x equals to 12, we say, okay, we have 5. We have 5 minus the square root of 4. Put 12 here in the place of x plus 1. If that does not give you 12, then x equals to 12 is not a solution. Let's see. 4 times 12, that will give you 48. 48 plus 1, that is 49. 49, the square root of 49 is 7. 5 minus 7 is not 12. And so x equals to 12 is not a solution. Okay, now let's check the other one. That is x equals to 2. This work where you are testing, you can do it just this side. You can just do it this side of your workbook. It's fine. You can just leave it there. Testing, when you are testing for the solution. Now put x equals to 2. You get 5 minus the square root of 4. You put 2 plus 1, that should give you 2. We replace every x that we see with 2. Ne? Please be careful. Now, every x that we see with 2. Now here we get 5 minus 4 times 2 is 8. This is 8 plus 1 is 9. The square root of 9 is 3. And this is indeed equal to 2. And so if the left hand side is equal to the right hand side, this guy here is a solution. This x minus 2 is a solution. Okay? I hope it's clear. Please help me find the black button down below. It's written subscribe on it. Just please click on that button to help me support the channel. And click the notification bell that will show after that button. Please like the video that you are currently watching. Please leave your comment in the comment section below about the topics of mathematics you want me to cover for you. And now we can continue. I must advise you that when you encounter a problem like this, where you can see two similar things and they contain what we are looking for, they both contain x, those radicals, and to work with them, maybe it's a challenge for you, but I'll also proceed to just do it normally without letting them to be something. Maybe the first letter of your name, mine is R, I'll just let them to be R in my case. We're going to let the square root of 2x minus 1 to be R. Okay? And so we square both sides. We can square both sides. When we square both sides, we get the square root being eliminated by the square. We are left with just 2x minus 1. That will be R squared. Now, these are the tools that we are going to use. When you see R, you put the square root of x minus 1. What I wrote here initial. Okay? What we wrote here initial. Now, when I see R squared, we're going to put 2x minus 1 in the place of R squared and proceed with the solving. Now, what you're talking about is, since we let the square root of 2x minus 1 to be R, we're just going to replace it with R plus 2. This is R plus 2. The R plus 2 equals to 3 over R. And then we solve for R. Our aim now is to solve for R. We multiply both sides by R. Multiply both sides by R. You get R squared plus 2R equals to 3. Okay? Now, when you're at this step, you can now replace back your R. Let's replace back our R and R squared. Our R squared is 2x minus 1 plus, okay, plus 2R is the square root of 2x minus 1. That will give you 3. And then we proceed from here. I'm doing this because if you encounter challenges, this is the first way to get to this point. Let me show you the second way to get to the very same point. The second way is that we're going to multiply right from here. Both sides, you multiply both sides by the one that we highlighted, so that we remove it from the denominator. We want to remove it from the denominator, so we multiply both sides by it. We say we multiply by the square root of 2x minus 1, and this side square root of 2x minus 1 as well. We multiply by it there. Now here, this guy, we're going to say this guy multiply by this guy, and this guy again multiply by 2. This side, they will just cancel. It's fine. I hope it's clear. If you take this and multiply by that, you get 2x minus 1, because it's like having 2x minus 1 all squared when you multiply this guy and this guy. Okay, so the square will remove the radical, and so that we have only 2x minus 1 left. Now we say this guy multiplied by that 2, we get plus 2 into the square root of 2x minus 1. That will be equal to, remember this one's they cancelled, so you just, this one's they cancelled, you are left with 3. And if you read this, it reads the same as this guy there. Now those are two ways to go to the same point, but now we have to solve from there. Let's solve from there. After getting to this position, we say, okay, let's isolate our set. Let's isolate our set so that we have 2 into the square root of 2x minus 1 will be 3 plus 1 minus 2x. So we have 2 the square root of 2x minus 1 equal to, this guy here is just 4 minus 2x. And then since 2 goes into 2, into 4, and into 2, we can divide by 2 and simplify further to say, we divide everything by 2, we get square root of 2x minus 1 will be 4 divided by 2 is 2 minus 2x over 2, that is just x. Okay, and then we square both sides. And then we have 2x minus 1, that will be equal to 2 squared. 2 squared, that will give you 4, and then we have minus 2x minus 2x is twice. I can't remember, we have 2 there, we have 2 there, we have x, and a negative. This one gave us 4, this one will give us minus 2x, this one will give us minus 2x, that will be minus 4x, and then you have minus x all squared, that will give you plus x squared. You say minus x all squared, and then from here you can simplify the equation by writing it in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0 by collecting the like terms and stuff. Let's do it. Let's proceed and say it means we're going to have x squared minus 4x minus 2x plus 4 plus 1. That will give you 0. I changed the signs of positive 2x is now negative 2x. Negative 1 is now positive 1. Everything else this side it still have the same sign. These two guys, the first two guys, and this guy plus 4 from there, they still maintain their signs. Now we're going to have our x squared minus 6x plus 5 equals to 0. When you are here, you notice that your coefficient there is 1. You can proceed solving by the formula x equals to minus b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. That I said I will that if you check on that video, you will notice it's there. How do we get this formula to solve this kind of problems? Okay, what by this kind of problems I mean the quadratic equations, how to solve them using that formula. Why do we use that formula to solve them? The proof is on that video that I referenced there. You will check it later. It will be at the end of this video. You'll find it as well, or in the playlist. You'll find it in the playlist as well. And now we're going to look for the factors of 5. When we add them, we get 6. Factors of 5 are 5 times 1, that is 5, those are the only factors of 5. So 5 plus 1, it must give us 6. We add them to get 6. Okay, be careful. We add them to get 6. And so we just open the brackets like that. And so we just open the brackets like that, equate to 0. Put your x and x to get x squared. Okay, and then we say the signs are the same and the signs are both negative. The signs are both negative. And then we just place 5 and 1. When you want to confirm it, just say minus 5 minus 1. It should give you minus 6. Okay, that's why the signs are the same and they're both negative. Minus 5 minus 1 should give you a negative 6. And when you are here, you just say, okay, our x, for this to be true, our x minus 5 should be 0, or our x minus 1 should be 0. And so x will be positive 5 or x will be positive 1. But remember, we are not done. We must go back and test it. Our initial problem was saying the square root. Our initial problem was saying the square root of 2x minus 1 plus 2. This should give you 3 over the very same square root of 2x minus 1. Let's use 5 to test. When you plug 5, we get the square root of 2 into 5, subtract 1, add 2, that should give you 3 over the square root of 2 into 5 minus 1. Let's confirm. This is 10. 10 minus 1, that should give you 9. 9 plus 2, that is 11. Let's check on the other side if it balances, which I doubt it will balance. Let's put 5 there. We put 5, it's here. Now 5, that is 9. 3 over 3, because the square root is the square root of 9. The square root of 9, 3 divided by square root of 9 is 3 divided by 3, and that is just 1. So this is contradiction. Contradiction, this cannot be true, and x equals to 5 cannot be a proper solution for this problem. So we just reject it. We say this one here, there is no solution. Okay, now we plug 1. We plug 1 in the square root of 2x minus 1 plus 2 equals to 3 over the square root of 2x minus 1. This is not the proper way to do it. The proper way is to take this side. That's why it's not necessary for you to write it. That's why I said you will write it at your rough space so that you can confirm the answers, to test the answers. So which one is working, which one is not working. Let's put 1. When you put 1 here, we get 2 minus 1. That should give you 1. Square root of 1 is 1 plus 2 is again 3. This is 3. When you put this one, replace it with 1, you get 2 minus 1. That should give you 1. 3 the square root of 1 is 1 again. 3 divided by 1 is 3. So this one is true. This one is true. This one here is true. And so this guy here is a solution to the given problem. This one cannot be a solution. This one cannot be true. The x equals to 5 cannot be true. Okay, thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share and comment on this video about the topics of mathematics you'd like me to cover for you. Spread the love. I wish you a very blessed academic year. Bye.